not technically my dad was
Hey. Oh, there it is.
She looks like a Muppet, especially in that picture.
We just don't deserve that. I'm gonna start crying.
And all these different, I probably had a dozen people that are competing.
Right? What?
I'm sorry.
All right, good evening. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Let us see what we are going to be doing today. You don't want
Don't
to?
be so mern.
Why?
Really, really long week.
Oops. Sorry.
So many reasons.
This is so mern. Oh my mern.
Well, the good news is that there's nothing going to be new. It's just practice exercises today. Yeah. So, well, actually, I take that back. No. It's nothing new. It's everything is coming together. It's like more like connecting the dots. That's my new favorite phrase to say to you guys. All right. So today, so this is what we have been building to, right? Mern, remember from week 1 we started. So Mern was Mongo database, Express, React, Node.js. All right, you guys know all 4 of them now. What? Sure. Very confident.
I think you will.
Put it on the resume, yeah. All right. Wow, that was random. On change. Okay. Right. Never mind the pep talk. Just jump onto on change. All right. So I don't know why this randomly pops up over here. Let's see.
Oh, I thought that was mashed potatoes for a second. I'm like, what?
It's like the light bulb.
Don't make me cry.
All right. So today what we are going to do, we have around, I think, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 main exercises. And what we are going to do is, well, what you guys are going to do is do all those applications. So those are like small chunks, but what they focus on is eventually coming to this, the MERN stack. So these applications are good. I will strike out Nico Troy, would you please strike out number 7? So this is I'll go through the template, the boilerplate code, but that code is, you don't need to do the create React M and all that stuff. You can use that, and I will show you how to start from that template, from that boilerplate code. So that code has all of these kind of formatted out for you guys. Okay. Now, for your projects, you can use the same same boilerplate that I'm going to be showing you today, and you will be using the same one today in all 4 exercises. Okay. If you want in your projects, you can use the same one. Okay. Towards the end of the class, I would like to talk about project. I'm not here on Saturday, so I want to give you guys heads up what's coming on Saturday. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I won't. I hope do you guys do Pupster? Maybe I shouldn't ask. Okay, try it. That's good. All right, that's okay. Today we will cover those exercises again. I'm going to reserve the questions towards the end. I want you guys, if you guys didn't get a chance to go over it, all of these 4 exercises are going to look into React Day 1, Mongo, and then kind of end towards the React router that we saw on Tuesday. Okay. I will give you time to complete these exercises. At some point, halfway through or third way through, I'm gonna start coding, but please don't wait on me. I would really appreciate you guys go at least give it a try. And then again, most important part is it's a boilerplate code. You will have some code given to you, but please take like few minutes and go through each and every file and understand clearly what's going on. Okay. Do not go to the instructions and just, oh, I have to do this. Initial exercises, I think you just have to modify like a one file or something and you're done. Okay. But the point is, take a look at that code and understand how this is working. Okay. It will help you a lot when you're creating your own apps. All right. So I'm going to close. This is not very helpful. I'm going to directly go over here. Okay. So these guys must have slacked the exercise out. This is number 7. So you see the create, react, express. So this is the boilerplate code that I'm talking about. In the next exercise, this will add up a few more things. And when we get to that part, I'll go through that. Okay. So let's talk about the folder structure. So if you guys have this without actually looking through the files, do you guys understand what? Can you guys take an intelligent engineering programmer guess what's going on? What is client, get ignore, package, readme, server.js? Okay, so what kind of application is this? If I have a server.js over here, full stack, yeah, but which particular part? Express, right? So I can take a guess that there's Node.js Express kind of involved. I have client code over there. What is the code talking about the client? If I open client, this would be the front end, right? Exactly. What is React? React is front end, right? It has. I was like, what?
Got him.
Yeah, I was like, what? Forgot about React already. All right, so front end, right? Client code has everything that is going to be front end. Remember that even in project 2, I was talking to people. People get really confused when it comes together as a full stack, right? People are really strong in front end or they're really strong in back end and understand, but when it comes together, then the confusion starts. Well, do I do this over here or do I do this over here? Well, my required doesn't work on my JavaScript. Yeah, it won't work. Okay, so again, I'll try my best to clear those misconceptions and kind of make sure everybody is clear on that. So anything in your client is front end. All right. Now let's see. So I have my source folder. Again, app.js kind of gives you an idea what is this. It's a React app. So already kind of stuff built in for you. And your public folder has probably your HTML and you can add your bootstrap over here. Okay. So this is the code that we have been looking at. All right. So do you guys notice anything odd over here? Two package JSON. Excellent. Right? Why do I have 2 package JSONs? What do you get if you had to take a guess?
One from React, one from just regular install.
Yeah, one from React, right, and one from our Express app, basically, right? This one is going to install all the dependencies that I require from my backend, right? My Node.js. Okay, if you open this up, you will see Express. They're installing some couple of more things over here. Right? If you open this one is all have to do with React. Okay? That's the first thing. Now, the first thing you will have to do is do a package install. All right? But the good part about this is you will see, let's go ahead and open this. If I do a npm install, right? What should happen when I do a npm install? Error? Why?
Oh,
What is it?
I'm doing it right now. So I don't know.
Huh?
I would think it would grab the ones in the root package.
All of it.
Right. I mean, but what would it do? Do I need to specify anything like npm install axios, npm install something? Right? It will install everything. It will look for the package JSON and whatever there is, it will install. Here's the good part. It will look for every package JSON and it will install everything. Yeah, that's the cool part. You don't have to run the package install twice. It's actually going to go ahead, look for a package JSON inside this folder and inside this folder and kind of install every single dependency that you need. Okay? One package JSON is for the front end and one is basically for the back end, if I'm talking at a really high level. But now we understand that the first one is for the React and the second one is for our Node.js or Express code. Okay? And remember, if you install, you will see it installs every single thing. It goes to the React one also, and it also installs this one. Okay? So we just have to run npm install once. And how can I make sure? You will see two node modules, one over here and one should be coming up shortly once it completes. All right, so you will see.
You should use something else.
What is it?
If one of them says, I wrote this module a very long time ago, you should use something else.
Wow. What module is this? You can look up how to upgrade it.
At 1.0.2.
Okay. Okay. That's the other way that upgrade is. Can you say that again? What did you do?
So when you run the engine install, when you're already inside of the reactor, you also update a whole bunch of stuff and it takes a long time.
Right.
What I've been doing is have an empty test app that I'll do it and install with just the app I need and then copy any of the files in those modules.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we will be doing from the previous classes. You can use the same one, create a React app, and then copy these things over there, right? The server.js. And so the good part about that is you will always get the updated one. And that's why, remember, I was saying don't do a global install for create app. That is why npx create React app goes and gets you the latest stuff. Right? So that's another way. So do a create a React app and then make the same folder. So you copy the server.js, ignore and all that stuff, create a client folder, move everything inside it. Okay? So you'll see it will create two node modules. One is for the client side and one is for the server side. All right? And that should be it. Let's go ahead and I want you guys to look at the console when I do a npm start. This app has both the front end and the back end, right? So this means I will have a Express server running and then my front end. All right, so you see this message over here, API server running on 3001. All right, that's our back end, and now it is starting our front end, which should come up shortly. So remember, there are two servers running. What port number does our front end runs on? 3000. Okay, since this port is taken, I cannot use this for our backend. All right, so what is the port our backend is running on? 3001. All right, everybody clear on that? Wow, that's taking a long time. Oh, there it is. Okay, so again, you scroll up over, you will see these messages. This is running on 3000 and this one is running on 3001. All right, everybody understand, clear on that? The true port. You cannot run the same app on the same port numbers. It's going to you'll get the access denied. Something is already being used.
So you have to make server.js.
Right. If you're writing your own server.js, again, that's what I was saying. Open the server.js and you will see if you're using this boilerplate code, it already has that taken care for you. But if you are creating your own, then make sure your port numbers are different. Okay, this boilerplate code already has that created over there. All right. The other thing is our start JSON. Okay, in our client side, open a package JSON. You will see line number 6, proxy. This thing. What is running on 3001? The backend. Our server. Okay, and this is mentioned in your client side on your front end. Okay, what this means is we'll do some exercises and then we can see a practical. If I take it out, I'll show you what happens. But what will happen is your front end is going to call some APIs that you have built over here, right? Some of the examples, I think there's a books example. So let's say there's an API books, right? So what port is this running on? 3000? 3000 or 3001?
3001.
3001, right? Our API. Now, my front-end code over here needs to go ahead and interact with this one, which is running on a different port. Okay? This line over here is basically saying if you, in your front-end code, if you make your Axios or Ajax call basically to your /API, /books, like literally like this, /API/books, it will work. If you take this line out from here, this is not going to work. Okay, you cannot just mention a short form like /API/books. It doesn't know where this exists. Okay, what do you have to do? If you take the line out, you will have to say http//localhost 3001/API/books. Then it will go ahead and look for it, and then it will find this API. Right? Why is this required? What case this would be required? If you take this line out. Now again, this is our front end. You're basically telling the front end that any API call, any backend call like this, by default, go and look for localhost 3001. If you take this line proxy out of here, then it doesn't know where this API/book resides. So then you have to mention the whole path over here.
What if you
Okay.
have like multiple API calls?
Yeah.
Just
So
put them
the
all on the proxy.
no. You will only have one server. This is saying this is my backend server. You're going to only have one server, one backend server, right? This is your server.
It's like the shortcut.
It's just a shortcut. You're going to have one Express server. You can't have two Express servers running on the same port. Okay, you're going to have one Express. So this is basically saying, if you type in /API/books or whatever, it embeds, it kind of concatenates or add this by default if you have this line over here in the packages and proxy.
Okay.
This thing. If you do not have this line, this thing is not going to work. You'll have to put this. When you put this comes with its own issues. This is the better way. Why? In the exercise, try this. You will get either codes issues and you'll get all kind of issues. All right? Because this is HTTP and it will say you have to call it from HTTPS and all that. So it's going to start giving you a lot more issues than just this. First, it won't even recognize this. Then you go ahead and put it and see what happens. Right? So this proxy is a better way to kind of overcome those codes issues and use the short form instead of writing the whole thing. Keep writing the whole thing over here. Okay? All right. Any questions?
So why would you want to remove that in the first place?
Yeah, that's why we don't remove it. But I'm saying that you need to understand what's the importance of this. Why is it happening?
I'm not going to touch nothing in that file.
No, but yeah, I understand. But as good programmers, we need to understand why am I just putting this and it works, right? Doesn't it sound kind of weird that I just put this? How does it know that where to go and look at it? This will be deployed on your Heroku and it will still work. But I'm curious that how is it possible that if I do /API/books, it still works? Right? I've seen a React app when I was learning React, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and I saw this in the code and I was totally confused. And I had to dig through and find out how does it know where this is, right? And this is how it knows. Yeah, this is like live experience. I'm telling you, will save a ton of time. Yeah. All right. Again, be curious. Try to find out why is it working, because there's always a reason behind that how something is working. All right. Just don't go with it's working. It's fine. All right.
Daniel says it works.
Right. That's what somebody's saying. Yeah. All right. Any questions? So this is a template, and it does nothing. It just comes up with it. This is assuring us that our app is working, our server is working, everything's. Now we can go ahead and start coding exercises. Okay. Did everybody get this template and got it running and everything? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and do the number 8, recipes. Again, if you created React app templates, you can copy the code over there, or you can just use this one. It will still work. You don't have to create a app. All right, let's see. This is number 8. Okay, even before you do the README, I would highly suggest go in the unsolved, do a package install first, run the app and see what happens. And then take a look at the code, that how these are defined. What is routes? I didn't talk about routes yet. What is routes? Why is there a folder called routes over here? What's inside routes? Take a look at it and then look at the README and see what you have to complete. Do a npm install, and then I'm going to run this to make sure my setup is good. I'm able to at least run this app. Maybe I should have installed at home before coming here. But it'll be faster than create that.
Listen.
Only then Britain is a smart one. He already has apps created. He just copy paste stuff into it. So that should be there. So the time for you to complete this exercise includes the time for so that,
I mean, I've just
eight. Yeah, 8 minutes are already gone by the time this starts.
installed it once.
Yeah. All right, finally. Let's see, npm start, see what comes up. So if you search something, you won't be able to see on the screen, but looks like in your console it's logging the JSON. Let's try that. So my console, let's clear this. Okay. So I have my unsolved working, as this GIF over here says. The goal of this activity is to render these recipes to the DOM. For this section, the only file you will need to modify is app.js. Okay. my client code. Run it. Right folder. API routes. Okay, so it's calling recipe puppy. And the array of recipes were indicated in the file. Let's see. So importing couple of components. I have a state. This is a class component. Handle input change. I guess when you click the search button. Oh no, when you type something in, that's handle input change. When you click the search button, that's handle for form submit. Okay, so it's calling these recipes, and then this is where this is console login, so that's why I see these results over here. Okay. Let's go back and see. Using this, add code to render array of recipes were indicated in the file. The recipe list and component renders a UL tag, accepts children. Okay, so 971. So you guys have to render two components, recipe list and recipe list item on line number 71. The import is already being done on the top, if you see. Recipe list component renders a UL tag. Recipe list item component renders a li tag. Interesting. Recipe So between recipe list and recipe list item, which is the parent and which is the child? Recipe list is the parent, and then recipe list item is the child. Okay, so that's a good starting point. Instead of this, we can go ahead and recipe list, right? And then within recipe list, we're going to have some recipe list items. Okay. So there's some hard-coded data inside the recipe list item. Looks like as soon as I do it, it shows up over here. Okay. But instead, we need to pass this this array because if you open up your recipe list item, is expecting, what is it expecting? Props. Okay. Now, what would be props? Is it going to be an array, string, number? What is, if you look at the code over here, what do you think props is? Is it going to be an array or a single object or something else?
An object.
An object.
Always an object.
No. Again, in props you can you can pass a array also. You can pass an array in. It could be a props dot recipes, right? That's an array. But what is like? Is it going to be? It's going to be props dot something, right? Now looking at the code over here, do you need an array or a single object? Joffrey said object, which is the correct answer, but for the wrong reasons.
Hey, classic stuff. You know?
And why do I say it's going to be single object? You see this li? How many things can li render array?
Oh, boy.
It's only for like one thing, right? You see there's no loop or anything. It just creates an li, actually returns one list item. Right? If you had a UL and then you had to do a map and everything, that makes sense. But this one is just like a single list item over here. Okay, so this means that whatever comes in over here is going to be a single object, and then you're going to replace that object with these things over here. And what are these things? These, if you look at your console, you should see these JSON data coming up, right? So you're going to pass each one of them and then kind of parse it through. So you want to show the title, so you will say props.title, and then you want to show image, so it's going to be props.thumbnail. Ingredients, find the ingredients and then use props.ingredients. Short this. Oh, let's do it after. So I'm going to pass in some properties. Let's go ahead. So my recipe list is going to have multiple of this, right? Recipe list will have an array. It's going to loop through it. So my looping is being done over here. And for loop, what do we use? Map. Yes. So go ahead and use the map and let's see. What is the name of the array? recipes. Okay, that's so this dot state dot recipes and then map function. All right, so let's remove this. We'll come back. Since this is a JavaScript code, curly braces. This dot state dot map. Okay, and then what? Yes. Oh, sorry. This dot state dot. Thank you. Recipes dot map. Okay, and then you can pass in a single callback function. Let's call a single object a recipe, and then you can map that, and then within this you can go ahead and call your recipe list item. And now my this thing, what am I getting? I'm getting the each object from my list. Okay, so each one has a title, href, ingredients, thumbnail, and all that good stuff. All right. Since this is an arrow function and I'm a curly braces, it's not going to auto return, so I need a return statement here. Okay, right? Because I'm using the curly braces, it's going to get more than one line, so then it won't auto return. So I need to do a return, and in my return statement, I'm going to call those recipe. What was that? Recipe list item component, and that will render the recipe item. So recipe list item. Okay, now what's going to happen is going to loop through and kind of generate multiple recipe items based on whatever comes back in recipe. Okay, you can pass in the whole object as props, or you can pass in individual ones. It's up to you guys. What is more important is that you pass in some properties. So for example, let's start with the key so that I don't get that error, that warning that comes up. So my key would be recipe. Was there an ID or something over there? If you guys look at the JSON. Was there an ID? Or I can just use the title. Then you can pass in the title, recipe. This one I'm sure I saw a title there, so I'm going to use the title. Okay. There was a link. Right in the href. So go ahead and use. It's called href. Okay. Ingredients. There was an array of ingredients. So ingredients is equal to recipe dot ingredients. Again, this is just look at the JSON and keep parsing the object that you need. And then there was a thumbnail. So let's go ahead and create a thumbnail. Recipe dot thumbnail. Okay. So I'm passing these properties into my recipe list item. And how would I access these in my recipe list item now? Right, excellent. So go ahead and use those and see if it renders properly. And it should show up the recipes over here. Let's see, for now it should show me just one hard-coded one, right? Why is it showing me multiple? Why does it keep showing me all of these? Right, excellent, because I'm looping through and then looping through 10 times or however many results that came up, right? This code is already hard coded in this one, so this is not taking effect because I'm not using any of these properties yet. But this tells me that my code over here is working, that I'm able to create, this is working. Next is I would have to go inside the recipe list item and remove the hard coding part and then see the recipes. You guys completed with this? How many people completed this? Did you say easy? I heard easy.
I heard that was
Right, so go. The next thing is this should be easier than the previous one. So just use props and John, you completed, right? Who raised their hand? Oh, Ali completed it. So Ali, you did the props dot title and everything over here? Anything? Okay. And you didn't change anything in the recipe list item? Oh, okay. So so it doesn't show you different, right? It should show you different items.
Yeah, that's.
It does. So you do the props dot title over here. Show the new title. All right.
So you can,
Hmm?
yeah, you have to, so you do have to change the index item there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Now, otherwise it doesn't show anything. Let's see. Now it should show me all the titles, at least. The pictures are going to be the same because again, it's all hard coded. But you see, my titles are changing now. Oh, I have an extra. That's better. Okay. This is ingredients. So go ahead and this is going to be an array. So either just show everything. Let's see if I just show ingredients here. Will it show up nicely or not? Ingredients. Okay, I'm missing the props. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in. Let's see if it shows up. Okay, these are the ingredients. You can add some CSS if you want and kind of make it nicer, but my ingredients are coming up, so that's good. I'm going to leave it that. Next is my href, and I called it title. So let's go ahead and fix this really quickly. Props dot link. That's what I called it. Search it, make sure link is working. Let's try this out. Devious diners. Okay. Alright, this is working. Brings me to the right one. Let's make sure these are all new. Okay. This is also working. So my links are working. What am I missing? Thumbnails? This thing. So go ahead and put the thumbnail here. Props dot thumbnail. Alright, so now my picture should also be updated now. Okay. Alright, questions? Everybody understand what happened? Started from app.js? Yes.
If you're not, mentioning recipe is not defined, okay, you put them on.
So started with app.js. App.js has two parts, recipe list and recipe list item. Okay, two components. Recipe list, open up recipe list and see. You have to loop through it. The recipe list item, they kind of separated the components out. All right, recipe list item is a single item. It has just one list li tag. So you need to pass in some kind of an object, like a single object, right? But it is an array. I have to loop through something, so that's why that part is being done over here. Okay, and then within that, these things should be updated accordingly. right? So what am I doing? The only way to do is, if you look up, these are all function components, right? I cannot use state over here. I cannot use, these are not class components. So what I can do is, I can just pass in some properties, right? So from here, I'm passing in these four properties from my object when I'm moving through the recipes. All right, key, title, link. These are the ones that are required. I'm using the key one because if you take it out, you guys must have noticed on your console it keeps showing you an error saying there should be a key defined. I didn't find any ID over here, so I just used the title. Usually they should have an ID, but I didn't see an ID over here in the JSON that's coming back. I know I didn't see it. I should trust myself. Yep, there's no ID here, so that's okay. Okay, any questions before we move on? What questions? Again, this is probably the easiest one of the next three ones. So ask questions right now before we move on to the next one. Index, okay. What are you looking for in index? Right. So what's happening in the index.js over here? How many components do I have? Two, right? Again, these are small ones, so that's why they put it over here. I would still create two files, but I think just for the exercise, they are in the same file. But again, you need to understand these both are separate components, and you see it's missing the default keyword. You guys see that? Right? And that's why if you look at the import on app.js, it's importing two separate components, recipe list item and then recipe list. And then, no, I have properties, and then I am accessing everything like, how do you access your properties? From the props, right? And where is props coming from? Where is this data coming from? From my parent, from the parent of this. And who's the parent of this?
Yes, the recipe list.
Yep. So if you go back over here, and this is where you're passing all this data.
From here.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Good. Yes. Yes. Hold on. Index.js. Okay. It does what?
Well, look, mine is rendering stuff, but when I search,
Okay.
it's saying no such file directory
No such file in directory.
for index.html, which doesn't make sense. It's right there. It only had so when I search something, it's blank. Like before, it was doing where it was doubling everything. So if I just search burger, it was doing the same.
Okay. Did you create a new one, or how did you come to this file? Did you create a new file? Did you get your answer? This one? Yes. What were you looking for?
Sorry, I thought you were talking.
Oh, no. You.
So when I search for it, it does like ingredients and goes in recipe, but it's not showing me the actual information.
This thing?
Yeah.
So you have your you have this props. Okay.
And all of that.
Well, it's not exact. That's why it's not rendering. So there's some.
blank.
What about this over here? When you have made it, are you passing
Yeah,
this
this
property?
one.
Yeah, that's what mine's doing the same thing. It's
Okay. Look at the console and see what's the. Are you guys passing the properties correctly?
Yeah.
This thing from your app.js. Show me what does it show? Like a blank list?
Yeah, it keeps giving this blank list. And like this, every time I search something now, it keeps saying next. Link come up. Check the window into the back. Let's see. I do have a key,
Okay. And what are you passing in the key?
like the recipe list.
Recipe list? No, it should be
Recipe list item.
recipe list item. No, this is the key.
Yeah, we need one key, otherwise it would. Okay. You put all this, you can pass it through these props. They're not even care of it. Recipe list item. Right there, middle of the screen. Right there. Check that carrot and then brackets.
Syntax error.
Oh.
Pass it through the prop. You can't just be inside.
It's a property. It has to be inside.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. That's his problem.
Oh.
So,
Are
what
you
if,
serious?
what if we get, in this case,
The carrot.
we get a return where the server provides
Oh, it better not work.
two items with the same title?
Two items with the same title.
No.
Yeah, so like in the title field, it's returning two
Oh
different
yeah,
items.
it'll probably error out or give you a warning.
Yeah, I'm getting an
Yeah.
error right now.
Right. It's not the best.
Is
We'll
there?
come to a better way. I mean,
Okay, cool.
this
If there's a
way you
better
can
way.
use it. I mean, there should be an ID,
Mhm.
but this thing is not giving an ID to us. So I would say it could be like a combination of a couple of things. You can say href plus title, make it unique somehow. If that's the data set you have to work with, you have no other data set. You can make it unique, yeah.
There's something wrong.
All right, let's go ahead and look at the next one. We are moving on.
No.
Yes. What is it? What are you missing?
The last thing, which was, I'm not sure.
Link. So same thing again. Go back and it is exactly the same.
You just get rid of it.
What do you think? It's our HTML, right? Where does our link go?
So, hey,
A tag, right? Yeah. So just replace the HR. Not the whole thing. How does where do you put your link?
oh,
In the A tag, you put it in the href attribute, right? So just
yes.
replace this with this.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
All right. Let's do the next one. The next one is number 9. Oh, this is a good one. Actually, the next one is good. All right, take a look at this one. This is, I think, Mongo. Yes. Now Mongo is involved. Mongo and Mongoose are coming. All right.
Dawn of the Mongoose.
All right. Take up the look at the README. Make sure install everything. What I did was, as I was talking to you guys, I pre-installed this, so I don't have to run npm install again for this one. So this should be good. Let's try it out. And if I run npm start, it should show up. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm in the wrong folder. Let's see, it should be in the unsolved cd, unsolved, npm start. It should actually still not work. We'll come to that. Okay, well, it installed everything, so that's good. I mean, it's trying to do something, but it should fail. But at least I know the installation is done, so I don't have to worry about npm install. New one, totally new one. This has totally different one. Again, go through the same thing. Look at the folders. Look at some of the files. Make sure you install npmi, and then take a look at the what is being asked. Open terminal, npm install. Okay. So let's look at this. This application uses Mongo database. Mongo database use. So be sure to start Mongo D. So that's what I'm missing. I don't have that started. And then go ahead and run npm seed. All right, so this is my terminal. Mongo. Okay. So you will know that your solution, the unsolved, is working when you should be able to see some books over here, books on the list. Right now, there's nothing. This means either your database is not created or it's not running. Mine wasn't running, so I started Mongo, and then I need to do a npm run C so that there's some data in my database. So this looks good. Started up on port 2707. All right. So I'm going to just move this, keep this running. And then I need to do a npm run seed. Okay, npm run seed. What is npm run seed doing? Right, creating your database and running some. You see on the console, it said it's reading scripts seed db.js. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is the file it goes and reads. Okay, so in your project also, or your activities, if you when you are doing your database connection, either with MySQL or Mongo, make sure you have this included. Okay, so it's using Mongoose, it's connecting, and then it's adding some hard-coded data in our database. Okay, so if this is successful, if I run my app now, I should see some books show up with it. Mm-hmm. Yep. What is it? Yeah, this means it's running. Yeah, this is from our Mongo class, right? It should come up and it should start running. Yeah. Yeah, otherwise this won't work. Who? Core.js? Okay. Let's go ahead and see. I still don't see any books on my list. Do you guys see it when you run? What is it? Oh, nice.
Oh, shots fired.
So what am I missing from the rating? Which one? Alright, so I'm actually missing the code that brings me all that data back. Again, this should be a short addition to the code as well. Looks like it's only one file, books.js. But please make sure you go through it, understand what each file is doing. Where's my books.js? Find source. Okay. Again, look at the source folder, pages, kind of draw it out if that helps, and see how the components are connected to each other. Okay. ORM? But this is Mongoose. This thing? What are you looking at? The what? Controller shouldn't have anything to do with ORM. looks like no. This is so Mongoose kind of takes over the ORM part. So
I still have bad experiences.
oh, you still have the traumatic experience from ORM.
Scar.
This again. This is this is the easier way to access. I want to tell you guys now.
So worried, Daniel. Cry with me. Weep with me. Weep. Weep.
Again, this would be the basis of your project. So make sure you understand, you see how the code has been divided, what are the folder structures. One of the requirements is to kind of use the MVC architecture. And this is MVC. So my controller has all my functions, find all, find by ID, and all those stuff. Those are written. Create all our CRUD operations. All my CRUD operations are in my controller. Okay. And this is all on the back end. The front end code is in the client one. Okay. The starting point is going to be your server.js. Okay, so it's connecting Mongoose and then, oh, the routes. This is the folder which should have all your API routes defined. Okay, yeah, you see that? // ID. These are the one that has all your API routes. Oh, this is a good one. Try to remove the proxy and then see what happens. The proxy that I was saying. Let's see. So I'm going to be calling this from my client, somewhere from my pages. Is that what it is? Let's see. Where is the Ajax call being done? Who found it? Okay. Is it in the app.js? Okay. So it's being done from your utils folder api.js. All right. So these are being kind of wrapped around functions, get books, delete books. But API call is being done over here. You see the /API/books. So if you remove that proxy, first complete the exercise so that you can actually see something over here. And then go ahead and try remove the proxy and see this will stop working. The only way for this to work is then you have to put in HTTP localhost 3001 and then see what happens. You don't have to put it there. I think you'll get some course issues and all that stuff. So this is what I was talking about. So first complete the exercise, then come to your API.js and give this a try. All right. So what do you have to update? Books.js. Is it just this file? The code so that when the component mounts, all right. Remember the lifecycle method that we saw on Tuesday? Date component mount. That's the one you have to use over here. And what does that method do? Date component mount. When does it get called? Load the component, right? First time when it comes up, it's the same as your. Remember the jQuery one? When your page loads, you had some code initially that it goes ahead and calls the Ajax, makes an API call, gets some data and show it on the screen. Date component mount is the same thing over here. That's the method that gets called every time, the first time your component over here gets loaded. So you need to make an Ajax call to retrieve all the books in the database. Now, do you have to do like axios.ajax and get it, or how do you do it? Or is it already done for us? How do I confirm that it is done? Ivana, where did you see it's done? One of the one of the folders.
No.
Where would it be?
Package date,
Okay. Package.json. What's in package.json? Lot of things. So I'm looking for a Ajax call. A lot of things, but not Ajax.
you said Axios, no?
No, no. I said Ajax call. Yeah, you're going to use Axios, but how do you make an Ajax call?
Oh, okay.
Where is
I
the
thought you were
Ajax call being
asking-
done?
Okay, I misunderstood.
Oh,
I
you
thought
thought
were
it. Okay.
asking me why
Okay, that
I'm
makes sense.
Axios and I said Axios.
Oh,
So I
okay.
misunderstood, sorry.
Okay. No, no. Where am I using Axios or where am I making that Ajax call?
So the ball will be done from the picture, yes.
From
No,
what?
no, no,
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. It's going to be done from it. And do I have to do it or the Ajax call is already being done somewhere? That's the question. And the router. Where's the router? I didn't see it. In books?
No, and the model.
Where?
And models, it could be models.
In the models. Where's models? This one? So models is back end or front end code? So what back end, right? So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to call make an Ajax call from my front end. So I'm asking where from my front end I have to make an Ajax call back to my these API that reside on my back end. So I'm saying where am I making this thing? So it cannot be in the back end. So none of these models, these things are all gone. You don't even have to look at it, right? It kind of boils down to only only on the client folder. So in the client folder, you're making that Ajax call. So none of the backend models, controllers, routes, none of these matter. Do you know, George? Components. Again, components are just my UI things, right? I'm making call from it, yes, and it's being made from books.js. Yeah, that part I understand, but I'm saying that in my books.js, do I have to do axios.get and all that stuff, or somewhere it's already being done for me? Right. Where is it being done? You guys see that? It's in the utils folder. If you open this one, this Axios Ajax call is already being done for me. Right? Yes.
That's right there.
Need to drink water now too. Yes, but this is the only way to make you guys see and appreciate how the structure is. I know it looks too much, but it's really nicely structured. If you understand it, it's really nicely done, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So like this, like especially the breakdown of folders and stuff, is that usually what you would see on majority of websites? Because I know like when you code, like
Mhm.
at least for me, it seems like you kind of primed us for this because you break everything down.
Right.
You know, like, and this is basically it. It's like every single thing is broken out.
Yes, yes, and this is the design pad. Again, this is a small app, so that's why you see there will be more stuff. But the basic, what is the design pattern? MVC. MVC is popular, and you will see some form of MVC in every website if it is being done correct. There's MVVM. There's few more flavors, but for a small app for our project, MVC will work. So this is how it works.
And especially, it just before we didn't really see as much in the client part, you know, as we do now. It was a lot more.
So in the clients, it's still the same. I have my components. Remember, we've been creating components folder from the first class, right? And then the only addition is the pages. And pages we saw in the last class. Remember what were pages? It just right. It's just the like your class components that is being called. And why do you need this? Because remember, if we have multiple pages right on the toolbar, we need somewhere to go to. So that's where you are saying, oh, these are my pages that go from somewhere. And these pages make up components. These pages have some component. This page has a component.
Yeah.
So you are saying, oh, these are my pages, my about page, contact page, the bigger higher. So if I look at your code, when I open the pages, I will see, oh, you only have one page, books, right? And then I understand that within books page, this is your page, and this you are calling books, right? And within this, you will have multiple components, and that's where I would go and look at the comp. So books.js is calling some components. So we started with just the components. Now we are going into pages. So when you're doing a project, you will have multiple pages, like 3 pages, right? Let's suppose you have about page, then you have home page, contact page, right? So you will have 3 pages, and within the pages, you are going to have your multiple components that you are going to divide. And here's the good part: if this page needs a component that kind of is common over here, you can just call this component. It's kind of common. You don't have to change anything. Exactly the same thing. You use it over here. You can use it over here. You can use it. So your kind of website kind of has the same layout.
Michael, he helped explain that because, like, with the Hopster one, where
Uh-huh.
everything was broken down, so it kind of confused me on the OMDB one because it had a container.
Okay.
I know you were saying how you use a container kind of as a parent to pass everything down.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't really thinking of it as just a container because that's all it was. It was just a container for things
Some,
to load
some
things
other
into.
components.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And container is, again, right now our website only has one page. So you don't see a container. Multiple pages, there will be a container. You might not call it a container. I don't like to use the word container. But some people actually put the name. I like the pages name as they are, like books, about, and done, right? But some people will put a container kind of indicating that this is the big container and it has something inside it. So either one, you can pick any strategy and do it, but the concept is still the same, that you have a big container and inside that it contains some other components. Or a wrapper, yeah, that's a good word too. It's basically a wrapper which has other, yeah.
So, like, looking at the way that they broke it down, because they have, like, the components, it basically seems like it's more of the layout, and then the pages are the actual pages.
Right. Again, that's what I'm saying. Your pages are the high level things, right? Your website is going to have 3-4 pages. That's the pages. Within the pages, you have components. That's what it is. Yes. And then your components can be used in different pages.
Yeah. It was just, I guess, at the beginning, we weren't breaking it down. The components were basically pages. But then
Yes.
as we got further.
Right. That's why I said we started small, and it's getting 2 days before we were. That's why. But we needed to understand what components are and how do you break it. So basically, what we were seeing, we just had one page, and within that page we had components. Now we are having multiple pages. That's why you see the pages folder. All right. Did you guys complete this one?
I learned stuff.
Learn stuff. It's actually just calling one method, component did mount.
Oh, yeah.
Component did mount, okay, and within this you're going to call your API Ajax call, but this is already being done for me. And how? In my API.js. So I have to call which method? Get books from this one, API.getBooks. Okay, let's go back and see if it is being imported. It doesn't look like, so go ahead and import that. Import. All right, from where is it? Utils slash API. Okay. Pretty sure it has a default keyword, so I'm just going to call it API, and then we can go ahead and call our method API dot get books actually. Okay. Doesn't require any parameter, but still I'm not getting it. Not setting the what? That's a good one. So I'm not setting the state. Where do I set my state? Is it not already done? Yeah, it's already done. Oh, the looping through is done. Okay, so
With the with the get now.
okay, yeah, excellent. I'm not setting. Where do I set my state then? Huh? How do I? Where do I set my state? Who said it? Somebody.
Go for it.
Don't be afraid. You're on the right path.
Got it.
Say it.
This set state.
Okay. Okay. So over here, this dot set state. Okay, and then what do I do? It has to be an object. I know that, right? So okay, now books. Books. Okay, good. API dot get books. Okay, is that right? Okay. Still nothing. Scroll up. Am I lying? What is that? Oh, okay. I don't think so. It will make a difference, but nope. What? So this I see. This is partial credit, but I don't want to say that.
Good job. Good job. She talked
Good
out
game, good game. Yes.
the code. She got the job.
Yes, yes. But why is it still not showing up? Store it where? No, I mean, yeah, you can store this in a const and put the const over here, but it's still the same. Look up getbooks. What's happening? But you guys at the back, you guys must have studied this yesterday, right? Jay and Alex. What about you guys? Know why am I not seeing that over here? You guys must have seen this yesterday. Oh, okay. What about you, Jay? Well, that excuse still doesn't matter. Why do I- So all these 20 people are not there yesterday also.
Sorry, we're working on getting the computer actually working.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Anybody else? So this is kind of in the right direction, but why am I not getting anything? If you look up getbooks, somebody say something. Yes. All right. Cheers. Thank you. What is going on? Axios.get. Does it return any data? It does not. It's an async call. Okay. So Axios.get does not return anything. It's an async call. You have to return. So this thing actually, what is it actually returning then? No, if it was returning a JSON object, it would show up over here. It is what? Success message?
Like a promise?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
always promise.
Thank you. It's all our promises. It's going to return a promise.
Also, it's saying, hey, I'll do this. If you
Yes.
return something.
Excellent. Yes. So it is saying I'm going to do it at some point in time. So I'm going to return you a promise that yes, I'm going to come back. And how do we handle promises? Then now we are getting somewhere. It's not disappointing. I'm happy at least you guys got there. I mean, previous cohorts, I just had to type the whole thing. I was like, you know what, never mind.
It's the
All right.
journey. We did it as a team.
Yeah.
Good.
So get books.
Start.
Okay. Now get books returns me a promise, so I cannot use get books. So I need to use the dot then function. Excellent. And then it's just setting up the async calls and making sure setting the state inside our async call. Okay. Then function takes in a callback function. Keep saying that. There's no escape from this, unfortunately. So, and then over here I can set my state. My then function will run when I get some data back. Okay. Let's call it data. Let's call it result. Because I think the JSON that comes back already has the keyword data, and it will be data.data. So I don't want people to be confused. Okay. So callback functions, I get my result, then I can go ahead and set my state. Right. This is 100% foolproof that I know that at this point I have my data back, and then I can set my books, and then it will be in result.data. Okay, now there are my books. There it is. Okay, so you cannot call get books directly. Either do this over here or do it in API. It doesn't matter, but it is always going to be a async call. Remember, there's at this point, I highly doubt there's anything simple that you do get books and return to data. Okay, you have to have a async call, so you have to handle the promises. All right, any other questions before we move on? What is it?
Go back up to the import.
To the import? Why? You guys tell me. What's going on? How am I importing? How do you import API? You can do it. Randy, come on. How do I import it? How am I importing this?
You gotta do it from the folder.
Yes. So this is and this is export default. Okay. So what would be my syntax?
So, should be
You can look at over here, and it's going to be similar, but which one? Is it going to be which one of these?
API.
Okay. And then which format is it going to follow? Is it going to follow this one or this one? I'll make it easy. 4 or 5? 50% chance. Pick one. 4, and you're right. Yeah. Woo! There you go. Right? Why? Because it's a default keyword, so I can use API from Windows API. Yeah. All right. Good job, guys. All right, let's take a break and we'll start at like 8:10. Okay. We'll start the next one at 8:10. Let's see. 8:10. We'll start back at 8:10.
The whole promises thing, I mean, that's like essential.
That is the crux of JavaScript. That is JavaScript. You can never escape from promises. That's the most confusing part, which people get confused, but that's also the most important part. In if you want to be a front-end developer, still you cannot escape JavaScript. Even Ajax calls, all of those are async. So there's no escape from async. That's all. That's the foundation of JavaScript.
Why are you scared of that, right? I want to feel useful, not
Well, since I'm already here, we can try the proxy thing that I was saying. So this is what I was talking about. This is the error you will get something not found. If you take the proxy out of it. So take the proxy out, this is the error you will get. So it cannot find this thing. The fix could be you can put your local host over here, but then you'll get another error. I think it's going to be cores. HTTP localhost colon 3001. See, then you'll get a cores issue over here. So the best way is just add proxy.
But I do, I like you prepared us for React. I mean, just from breaking everything open down. I know.
No, what? Don't be setting me up for no failure, Dave.
Yeah, I really don't like. Why would you not in development? This is like mining is engineered for success.
No, I took some web development classes when I first got into college.
Yeah. I knocked them out of there. Those two. I don't know. I remember distinctly having one class of how to set up an HTML table. A whole class.
Yeah.
Period.
Must have been fun.
It was, and this was a once a week class, mind you. For the whole semester. The whole semester was just HTML and CSS.
Yeah.
And I kind of just like, no, this is just a hobby.
But you said you took like
Yeah, I took a Udemy course. And I did a couple of them. Like I've done maybe since iOS 10. I've done like a course, like a crash course once a year. For like iOS, like here's how to make an app in Swift. I've done that. I did that in 10. And ever since Swift was 4.4.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. It's like it's a lot of fun because when you like you get something running on your phone and it's just working. That's crazy. Like you just have it like on your phone and it's just like you press a button and you like make a xylophone app. And you figure out how to get that all working. It's just like you press it and it's like making the sound. It's like
So it goes and looks up all these things.
it feels good. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's what even different levels, doesn't matter what you do, just you make it work, it feels good. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. I know. It's like you invest so much.
The internet told me on
Oh man, it's true.
some guys like, yeah,
Whoa, that guy.
not me.
No, I know that dude.
The dude on Reddit.
People on Reddit out there feel way too much.
It's good.
No. Yeah. I don't know. Just.
I'm sorry. What's up, guys?
So I had just one before.
Allie's just spoke out.
We are team.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get to
I realized I put on the bottom, so I was in a way.
Don't fight with that.
got you a job. Yeah, so you don't need to have all of that. So it's actually, yeah, so all you need is already got, you're already getting the books. So just the API gets those results. You just need the result. 9 months. 9 months.
Yeah, that's.
I'm so sorry. What have I done? It's just, well, it's just the small things that trip us up. She just had API done. She's like putting the thing in one thing. WordPress development, I know that or yeah, I'm not worried about it later. That's why I'm so tired. When they realize the crux, the two people that all funding falls on are garbage. So it's really stressful. I spend more time at work doing nothing. It's tiring me out more. And then like Wednesday night, I literally went from like so whenever you look in Slack, so look in Slack right now. Just doing like 5 hours. Oh yeah. Yeah, it shows right now. I feel like I need to like because it's like the guy who's talking about it isn't like maybe he's not like a CEO or anything. He just has like a I don't know. I wonder if it broke kind of position in the company. My little Slack out. Dude. What it sounds like is they have a bunch of shit. It's really complicated and broken. And they want me to like go through and like refactor it and make it better. And I'm like, yeah, especially considering how bad it is. Yeah, migrating to a whole bunch of shit. I had a reason why I'm not able to do my Thursday. So, my boss is the boss. Like, yeah, you guys can give us feedback. So I can take that to the development. That's my title. I was literally just in my mind, I'm like, I could help you guys. I know that I'm listening to the offers. I don't know if I want to. Because I don't know how to stream the system will be inside. Yeah, I run to the board. That's the weird thing now. Is that you can get what you know and you don't have to work really too much. Like, oh, this is when I like in the first 2 months of this program, I was so and this guy who's basically out this is great. Last 6 months trying to get as an artist to learn more code and he taught me like selling it to one of the branches. He came over to me, he's like, oh my god! He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just like studying JavaScript.
stuff. He's like, oh, I'm speaking of equal. He's like, do you know HTML5? I'm like, bro, that's all I know. He's like, oh my god. He's like, oh man.
He just like falls down onto his knees. He's like, Guru-sama! Guru-sama!
And I can just tell that he knows a little bit of code, but not really that much. He's like, there's a bunch of stuff that we're doing that we're taking like hundreds of lines of code to do. Yeah, I know we're making better. And they told me the story about how they had Amazon people, developers, bar developers, and implement Alexa functionality.
I immediately looked over. You cannot say that word in my house. You need to say Allie.
Or computer.
No. You cannot. You need to say Allie.
So
That's her name. When we don't want her to listen. When we want to talk about her, but her not listen to us, we say, so just go tell Allie to do this. So you got Allie integrated into your system.
Sure, yeah.
Not that Allie, other Allie.
Anyway, so escrow officers can petition their ally. They can be like, Allie, like, tell me about escrow file such and such. And go look it up. There's reasons why. You're working on something else.
But isn't this like the same thing?
I don't understand why they would do it. It was literally, sometimes the CEO of my company will just be like, yeah, that sounds great, let's do it. And it's like, dude, that's stupid. Like, they had a leprechaun dance across the screen for St. Patty's Day.
I remember that.
Yeah, I told you about wishes. And like, everyone was like, what the fuck is this leprechaun? I'm trying to do shit. But, who knows? This dude was telling me, he's like, yeah, we know Amazon developers come out here. And like, the head developer of my company was just like, I was so far away. They're trying to like, the Amazon developers were like, oh, you should do this, this is faster, you should do this way.
They're like, don't do what
He's
you're
just like,
doing.
no. Say, nah, man, I don't want to do that. I don't want to implement new things. I don't want to do things like we did 20 years ago. Sounds about right. And I'm like, oh.
Well, that's the downside. Like, there's so many companies that fall in possible, but that doesn't really mean that it's that's what go into roles where they'll
Developed a system for escrow. Like, we need like a software system for escrow. And the CEO is trying to take it from sell it to different companies. And like, I-17, eventually we're just like, you guys aren't, like, no one is giving me the money that I want for this. So I'm just going to create an escrow company. And here we are.
well.
So that's why there's an in-house, courier system, which is what I use to do my job.
Well, I think it started as a it's the same guy who helped start it there. They started as a software
So the
company.
company name is
Joe
The
Fargo.
CEO is Adam
No code?
Is it his son?
It's like his brother.
Okay.
Is the one that founded the. I think it's like Ryan's.
He's one of the money in the family.
Dude, and like, I met like, once that wasn't my team meetings, because we were like,
It's so like
it was the one time like all the careers had a chance to be like, hey, this is what we want to see in our system. And like, he was just so fucking rude. He just said, why is the internet so slow? He's complaining about the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
What is it? And like, Adam was just like,
So I think
you have the entire office to yourself. Yeah, it was essentially Adam being like, hey,
That's the downside, you know. Like, I know I've worked in many places that, as an ally, realize they just don't have the department that I want to be in. Like, I'm the department, and I don't want to do that. I want to go into something where there's runs things. There's a lot of opportunity.
A lot. Probably don't even know.
Getting my new
Out of the
Yeah, eventually always on Saturday.
Okay.
All of that.
Mm.
There's a lot of companies that are coming out. Since today, it's a lot cheaper than California. And people like to have a
All right, so we are doing number 10.
feel rich off of, you know?
Did it get selected out? Not yet.
Maybe.
Not yet. But if you have access to GitLab, go ahead and start number 10. Oh, there it is. Soon as Troy comes in, I will ask him to send the number 10. But it should be on GitLab if you want to start from there, or give it a minute when he comes back. So we are looking at number 10. Oh. Make sure you are able to run this. Same thing. Make sure you are running the Mongo database. You can use the previous one if you want, or try start from this one. This one has a solution for the previous one. Troy, would you please stack out number 10, unsolved? So I don't think I have to run the seeds again because I already have the database created and running from the previous exercise. Let's make sure if I do npm start, should show up some books. Okay. So this shows up, looks good. When I press this X over here, this doesn't work. So that's one. What's part one? Okay. A new book is also not being saved. Okay, so it's not right. Okay. So the part one is you need to update this part where you enter information and then you click the submit button. You should go ahead and save that book. And how do we verify? The book should show up at the bottom over here. Okay, right now that doesn't work. So your book should show up over here. And the next part would be to do this delete button. Start with the first one, submit book. Ajax request is made. Again, remember from the previous one, the code Ajax call, the code is there. You just need to, looks like update the books.js component. And then inside that, looks like there's a form button. Makes sense. This is a form. There should be a submit button. And you click that, it should go ahead and make a post request. There's no need to modify any code other than the code inside of book.js. Okay, the hint is already given, so but again, make sure you're just refreshing yourself. You're looking at the architecture, you're looking at the folders, how these are divided, and how these are working. So my books.js should be in my client and should be, can't be in my public, it should be in my source. It's a page, so it should be inside my page folder. Okay, so my API is coming in. This is why I see all my books, because on component load there's a function, and the function is the one that gets the books, makes the Ajax call. Okay, something similar that we did. Now we have three more states: title, authors, and then synopsis. Okay, and these are these three things. Okay, let's take a look at this container. Columns, this is all good. Where's my form? Oh, there's my form. Okay. Form button. It has a submit book. It doesn't do anything. So we'll have to update this. See what happens if I click right now? Refreshes the page. And why is that? Because we are not preventing default. Right now this is excellent, yeah. Right now this is not a controlled form. That's the term they use. So we need to give the control from here to our there. So take a look at some of the exercises from Tuesday, and that if you want to get a kind of reference, same thing that we did on Tuesday. Form, name and placeholder is there. We need a couple of more attributes. Form button should have a on-click event. All right, handle submit input or handle input. And this will be on change over here. We need to add that. So you can take a look at the first exercise also. I think, let's see. Yeah, that had the buttons, right? The recipe. Yeah. The recipe had the button click event. And as you type in, so it's kind of same over here. Just make the relationship and see how you can bring the code over here. Same concept. So I'm just going to make them in a new line so I can see them. So I have my name, placeholder, name, placeholder, and then my text area also has my name and placeholder. So I need to add a few more attributes here. Just to kind of bring them in a new line so I can see that as we add more stuff. So in my input text box, I need to add two attributes. Roland, can you tell us what to add? Take a look at it, take your time, but I need to add two attributes over here. So whenever you get to that part, that's the hint that in our input, I need to add two more attributes over here. What are those two attributes? Hold on, Roland is going to tell us. Take your time, it's no pressure. The whole class is depending on you. That's so I have name and placeholder. Needs need to. So in my input box over here, right? What is this? This is this thing over here, right? Yeah. Okay. And This one is this one, and the text area is this. And my submit button is not submit. It's somewhere over here. Oh, there. This is this. So in this is not complete. This is incomplete, right? This is the part that we need to make sure that this gets completed. Now, to start off, there are two more attributes that I need. And from the previous exercises we have seen, so what are the two missing attributes over here that I need? Value? Yeah, that's a good one. So we need value first. What else? Uh-huh. Excellent. So excellent, yeah. So I need this dot state dot title. And why? Because if you see on the top, I have already, this is given to us, title. Okay. And then there's one more attribute that I need. So that attribute, what's the next one? So when I type something in, I should be able to capture what is being typed, right? As soon as I do something. So there's an action involved. Handle the input chain. Excellent. Yeah. Yep. Now what's the attribute called? You're right. We need to handle the input change. Now, how do you convert that into the syntax? You're close. Yeah. So this is what your Roland is saying. He's close. Handle input change, right? And then you're saying this thing, and then this dot handle input change, right? So you're close. This part on the right side, this is correct. But in our React component, there's no handle input change. Instead, it has a different name. On change. Excellent. So you were close. So there's no handle input change. This is on click or on change. This is what it is. Okay? So on change is defined in the React. You can use on click, but over here we need on change. And then on your right side, Roland is correct that there has to be a function. Handle, you can call anything you want, but this we call it handle input change. Does this function exist? No. So I have to go ahead and create it so that you can start running. Okay. And what about the second one, author? Joffrey, tell me, author. What are the two attributes that I need in my author attribute? Same thing, okay? So I can just copy paste this and this will work.
Boom. Now we're going to
excellent. I'm glad you said that. All right, so I need to change this title to author. Okay, that's a good start. Excellent. So now go ahead and stop the handle input change so that it doesn't start giving you error when I click submit. But right now it should give me an error saying, oh, I don't know what it is. Look at our console. So it's giving me this big error on change. Basically, it doesn't exist. So create the handle input change, just stub it out, and then again look at the it's the even the method that you can see it in your first exercise of today. It's exactly the same thing. But I would encourage take a look at it and kind of type it out instead of copy pasting it so that you guys kind of get used to it and understand what you're actually copy pasting. So handle input change, all right. I should get a parameter, and that's going to be an event, because that's what we get, either event or nothing. Okay, and this is my arrow function, and then I have to do something. Now look at the exercise from the previous one. We're going to use the destructuring syntax. Okay, name and value, name, value, event dot target. Okay, and then you need to set the state. There's the set state. Okay, takes in an object. All right, Blair, what do I have to do inside this dot state? So we are in handle input change.
You have to do square brackets.
Excellent. With name, and then colon value. What is this? What are the square brackets important, and what's going on with it? What do we do? Okay, and what is the value of the name? Like what will come out here?
So your input, wherever you put the value, you input the
Okay, so from this code, what would be the name? Title. And then it can also be author, right? That's why we have the square bracket, so that it is dynamic. Whatever comes in, but the possibilities are either it's going to be author or it's going to be a title. Or what? Oh, there's a third one. Let's see. Well, right now it cannot be because I don't have the. Oh, I do. Yeah, synopsis. Okay. I didn't have the value over there. So yeah, so you have three options: title, author, synopsis. All right. What's next? So if I type in do a console log, this should be. This is still doing. Oh, synopsis is not complete. Okay. Go ahead and complete the synopsis part. My text area synopsis is still missing those two attributes. Go ahead and complete that. Diana, were you able to complete the synopsis part? So value is equal to this thing. Then this dot state dot dot author. So why would we use author over here? It belongs to where? So what is this text area for? Which one is this? What is this code corresponding to on the screen? The title? So let's walk this through from the top again. So where is this form? Form is this whole thing, right? It's a form. So what is this, the first one corresponding to? On the right. Which one is the first one?
The first one is the title.
Okay. Second one?
That's the author.
Third is? Okay. So it's not the title. Right?
No.
Okay. So what do I? This dot state dot what? So look at the. So what did you do over here? This was the title, right? And I'm using this dot state dot title. An author. I'm using this dot state dot author. Dot what? Synopsis. Right, we're getting there. Synopsis. Okay. All right. Is this complete, or do I still need something else? On change. Okay. So on change, and then this dot handle input change. Okay. All right. That's good. Anything else over here? Okay, everybody got there? What's the next part then? Still my submit button doesn't work, so so my next part is submit, do the submit button, yeah? So right now it literally doesn't do anything, it's just text. So look at the previous and see what do we have to do. Karen, what do you think? Okay. Okay. So again, it's going to be similar to the first exercise that we did. So we completed these, now we are on the submit button. What is it? Component did mount. That's already there. So come back down to this part where your JSX is. Okay, so we are looking at JSX and we are looking at the submit button, some kind of a button. So this button right now just has text, so it is missing something. You guys already done? Is this the second part or the first part? Oh, okay. Delete is also there. You guys done with the delete also? Delete? Huh? You didn't do delete? I was just waiting. I was like, as soon as
Daniel's just been waiting ever since. Waiting.
No, I'm not waiting. No. All right, Karen, did you get it? Okay, so we are on the button part, right? What do you have to? So I need an event over here. Yes, Jay. On click. So I need an event over here, similar to this one. This one we were using on change. For button we use on click. So it'll be kind of similar thing. So add on click over here. So on click is equal to something. Okay. Now what do I add over here? This dot handle form submit. Excellent. Form submit. All right. Now this function doesn't exist, so go ahead and create this function right after handle input change on the top. So over here, handle form submit. Do I need the event or not? Okay, so event arrow function. Okay, and then you have to do something. Okay, still if I submit, it refreshes. So how do I stop the refreshing part? What is it? Event.prevent before accident. Event target, no. Event.prevent before. Ah, it makes me type the whole thing. Oh, it is annoying. You should know what I'm trying to. All right, let's see if it refreshes now. Okay, so it stopped refreshing. All right, let's check our console to make sure it's not giving an error instead of refreshing. Okay, so this is just a icon. Let's take this. Submit. Okay, that's working. Let's make sure this is actually being hit. So I'm going to console log and just console log from submit so that I am 100% sure that this is working. Alright. So if I type in something and submit. Okay, so it is coming inside this function. It's preventing it to refresh, and then it console logs this. Okay. What do I have to do after this? What do I have to do? In English, like what do I have to do?
Get the book.
Get the book? Get the book and then save the book.
Like, make an object as
Oh, okay, yeah.
because that's what they means. That's get the ball. Send the ball.
Okay, so I got confused because there's a method called get books. I'm like, well, do I have to call get books over here? No, right? Yes, it's just the save book. So look at your get books, right? Look at the API file, and then call the function save book and see what it is. What do you have to pass in? So, right. Yes, I get it. I need to pass book data, but what is book data? What is it, Randy? What's the data type? JSON object, right? As Joffrey says, just say object every single time. You have a bigger chance of getting it right. Right, just be like, yeah, it's an object.
It's an object.
That's what I meant when I said get the ball.
I would say that's a good strategy. Yeah, it helps. I mean, I have some things. When I go for Java interviews, they give you a question to solve. Most of the time, the answer is just hash table. So I'm like by default, I'm like hash tables. I just have to use hash table, and most of the time, it's the right answer. Okay, so in this case, what is coming? It's an object, right? All right, you guys remember the post call? Post. You have to pass JSON data in the body. All right, so it's not in the URL parameters, and that's what's happening. So we need to pass a JSON, basically an object from our submit button. Okay. What is it? So API dot save book. Okay, and then you have to pass in an object. All right, so George, were you able to do it? Just falling on. So okay, tell me, I need to pass the object over here. How do I how do I build this out? You guys? So my first property is going to be title. And how do I get the title back? Oh, okay. All right. You guys are getting fancy. Just dot state dot title. All right. And then author. Ooh, I heard destructuring. Ah. All right, Blair. How do I destructure?
Outside of
Excellent. You can't do it over here. Man, look at that. Ooh, constant. Constant and then curly brackets? Like this? You have to name a constant, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So let's call it book data. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. And then, okay. What do I pass in?
like exactly what we were doing over there.
Things that I want?
Yes. Title and author.
So that will kind of defeat the purpose of the destructuring. Of course. It's really good thought, actually. You guys get it? What's going on? So I need to pass in. What do I pass in? Well, you can't pass in. I mean, that will defeat the purpose of destructuring. Name and value. So where's the book data? You see, so this is what I was doing over here. Maybe let's complete this so that you guys can see.
set it all to this state.
What is it?
So the way I was doing constant, and you do curly bracket, and you list author, title, synopsis, and you set it equal to this state.
Oh, like how we were doing it with the in the
Yeah.
change.
Right. So you are doing it right. I was just asking how do you do it?
So okay. So
Yeah, you're doing it right. Then go ahead, keep doing. Okay. Title. Okay. Excellent. Synopsis. Oops. Synopsis. Right, and then. Ooh, nice.
Somebody get this man gold star.
Right. Look at this fancy syntax. What is this fancy syntax you are using? Okay. So as Blair is pointing out, we can destructure, and this will have title, author, synopsis. But what happened over is going to create 3 variables, right? So these are 3 different variables, right? Title, author, synopsis. But I still need an object over here. Is there a shortcut over here that I can use? So what do I have to do? Title and author, right? I still have to do this. Am I right? But this is actually coming from this destructuring part. Is there a way? Synopsis. Well, how do I? So this same book is expecting an object. It has to be an object, but this is not an object. This is constant title variable, constant author, constant synopsis variable, but still not an object. What is it? Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm nesting. I'm saying that these are my names of the properties, and I'm referring to these. Some nesting. I was just wondering if there's a even more shorter way to do it. Again, this is a general question. I don't know. I'm asking. If I'm trying to look and see if we can put it over there. Maybe tell me the exact syntax, Brayton. Maybe I'm not seeing how, but go ahead. What do I do? If not, that's okay. We can. This is This is even going further than I expected. This is well, I didn't even think about again. It's not. I didn't even think about destructuring it.
Yeah.
So that's very good.
It is. You made him happy.
Because he's.
All right. Is this complete or no? Do I have to do something else? It'll work. Yes. Why? Yes. Yeah. Right. This is where the get book things comes back. That once you save it, right, you want to see that books added towards the book. Now, if I add it right now, will this work? It will work. It will save that book, but it won't show up over here. Why not? Because I'm not reloading the page basically. Okay, so that you can do it in the then function. Yes, Kyle. Kyle, you had a question?
I think it doesn't really say what side. I was going back to the destruction
Uh huh.
piece. If you were to take the constant and set those items equal to book, and then set book equal to this state, you can just pass book into the state.
Okay, so you're saying cons book. Oh no, you can use this. So like this.
No, you take the constant and set it equal to book.
Oh, sorry, cons
940.
line 40. Okay,
Instead of setting it equal to this state, you not just type equal to book.
equal to book. What is book?
The variable that you want to use.
Equal to book. Where is this book variable? So these structures. Let's try. That's okay. Now he has helped in previous. I'll let this one. So destructure goes from this to this, right? This is the one that has the data, and this is destructuring into this. So this needs to have something in it. I see what you mean, but it's the other way around. In this case, it has to. This should be the one that has all the data, and this is breaking down into this thing. Yeah. Yes.
Destructure works because the values are the same as the state.
Yes, exactly. The only reason this works is these should match. Remember, that's what it matches and sees what's the same name. If there's not the same name, it doesn't know what to put where. Yeah, that's why it works. All right. So the then function. Am I in the right? Yeah. Dot then. Okay, and I'm going to get back some result. Callback function. Stub it out. So what do? I load the page again. Basically, I'm loading the books. And excellent. Yeah. Why don't I just call the load function? Excellent. Yeah. And I remove the curly braces because I don't need it. And this should return. Oh, I still need to complete this. Okay. All right. So I'm not using the result. If you guys were using it, you can console log or something, but you don't need it. You just need to load the book. So what happens? It goes again, makes a Ajax call, get all the books, and shows up on the screen. So give this a try and see if it shows up. Let's see. Title. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not using it because this dot load books makes a fresh call and gets all the books that is in the database.
Okay, so you could remove the results.
Right, but I have this because save book. If you look at the method, it is actually returning. That's what I was saying. If you want to console log to see it, it's fine. If not, you can just ignore it. But the save books, it's returning something. I think it returns the newly added whatever. But yeah, you don't need it. Yeah. Okay, so just an empty string like this. Oops.
No, nothing. Just this dot load books. Get rid of the that arrow function, everything.
Oh.
And I just did this dot load books.
Why won't that work?
I mean, it worked.
Why? But that's remember the it's working, but it's doing something else in the background. Remember the click function, the handle input change. We were wrapping it inside the function. What is the then function? Your then function is expecting a callback function that takes in a that has a parameter over here. Okay, that's the definition of the then function. Right? What you are doing is, yes, you can call this directly. It still works because it is expecting a function that either has result or nothing. So that's why this works. But the better way is if you have to use a result, then you won't be able to use it if you just call this function. If I just call this will still work because what happened dot then, and then you are still passing a function which doesn't take any input, and you're just calling load books. Right? So in this case, it will work because again, the then function is expecting a function, but from our understanding, this is not correct because then function should be calling anonymous function that has results in it, right? And then within that function, you can call your load books. So that's the more like the correct way. It will work over here because we don't need it anymore. But you understand what's going on. The right function is actually the callback function. So it's called results. So it's a function wrapped inside the function. Oh man, now everything I typed has gone. What parentheses? Oh yeah. Glad I didn't start typing. Oh, there it is. Okay, now this should go ahead and not only submit, post, if everything is good, and then it should save it into my database and then bring the book back over here. Oh, there it is. All right. So this means it's saving, and it's coming back, and it loads the books, which makes a get call. This assures me that my book is saved to my database. All right, question before we proceed to the next part of this, which is a delete function. All right, let's do the delete. Is that part true? Okay, so the API is already there. Delete book. Similar thing. Now on this X, you need to call that. Where would I find this X button? Where is it? Line number?
94.
94. Awesome. So there's the delete button. So if it's a delete API, what do I need to pass that API? Let's take a look at it. Delete and ID. Okay. So if you want to call this, what's the first thing I need to do? It's same as the submit button. So on click, okay. So I need the on click method. On click. Okay. And then I need to call a function. Which function? Delete book. And I need to pass in the ID. Michael, what code do you have over here?
Oh, in there I just got in the curly bracket I've got This well, I decided to name my function handle item delete.
And no, I'll go with what you have. Handle.
Oh, you're forgetting the this stuff.
This dot handle
Item delete.
item delete.
Yeah.
Item delete. Okay. All right, and then you have item delete on the top.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and create a callback function. Oh, our function. Arrow function. Handle delete event. Okay. And then. Okay. Now.
And then inside of it, I have so far API dot
API dot delete book. Okay, and I just need an ID. So how do I get the ID?
So what I was thinking, and I haven't done this yet, but I was thinking that in the delete button, is it possible for us to pass in like the ID in there on the delete button? Right there. This handle delete item,
And then
in parentheses pass in book dot underscore ID. I don't know.
book dot. Okay.
And then in our
Well, it's a yeah, it's a good thought, but this is not correct. I and Y. So I can only pass an event, but I cannot pass an ID. It will say, oh, this is an event, and you kind of keep up. So I cannot do this. Wrap that bad boy. That's the that's what you. Okay. So all right, Blair. Now how do we wrap this bad boy? All right. All right. Empty parentheses. Arrow function. Well, handle item delete still is expecting an event. Do I? So you are already wrapping. What is this? So you are already creating a function, right? And within that function, you can call just the delete function. So here's. Yeah, you are already wrapping it over here. So what if I put this dot handle event? It's wrapping a function within like 3 functions. But this is itself a function definition, right? So in this, you can call your this dot API dot delete or let's do what you are saying, but let's go ahead and change the name. Yeah, I mean handle kind of gives a wrong idea, but it's the right. So and then you can pass in the ID. Let me stub this out and then you can just rename it. Okay, so you have the idea is right and this will work. It's just the name that I don't like. It's giving the.
That's why I said you could name it whatever you want.
Right, no, you were right what for what we were doing, but now the thing has changed. It's now delete. We are actually deleting the book. So and then let's go ahead and rename this, and this time we are getting an ID. Okay, now you can go ahead and call the delete function and pass in this ID. So app dot and then pass in the ID. Okay. Once a book has been deleted, we want to reload same as the save book one. So go ahead and do the then function, and that should be it. Dot delete book dot then. Okay. Callback function. Results. If it gives back, if not, that's fine because I need to just load the books once the delete is complete. Okay. In your you might see one more method called catch over here. Catch is for if any error happens. So you want to know during the delete or something, or anyone on the top. All of them will work with the same one. So you want to know if there any error occurred. So we go ahead and console log that. You will see this in your solution also. Do I have this right? Yeah. So catch is if delete book kind of fails at some point, your API gives you an error, so you'll have that error. So it's a good practice to add this catch in every API calls that you have. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete. Anything else, or this should be good. All right, so I'm on click, call the delete book, and then I can go ahead and delete this. So let's go ahead and see. And there it is, delete it. All right, let's refresh to make sure it's not there anymore. All right, any questions? Yes. On the delete one? Okay. Right, that's it's they're calling it an ID. So it's the same. Any other questions? All right, let's do the last one then. React router. So we started with simple, uh, just React code. Then we used APIs, making AJAX calls. Then we went into Mongo and Mongoose, right? The last part is our React router. So we have this. So if you click any book, it should take you to a details page. Let's see. Right now, if I click anything, nothing works. Oh, well, it brings you back to over here, but it doesn't give me any details. So the next one is you need to implement a route. When you click, it should take you to a details page. And this is exercise number 11. Last one. Okay. I've already done this. I'm going to just make sure I have my npm installed. Yeah. So npm start. Set up the React router inside of client source app. / and / books. These are the two routes that you need to make. And the pages have already a no match one, so that's kind of. Oh, we still have to add the not found. So 3 routes: / books, and then if you type in something else, it should give you like a 404 not found or something. Oh, what just happened? Okay, interesting. So my backend server is running. This thing. Use link outside the router. Now let's take a look at our books. Books.js pages. So it should be in my source folder, pages, books. Yeah, there's no, I don't see any. Were you guys able to run this? Unsolved? You guys are getting the same error? Maybe that's the thing that we need to resolve that error. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Nav. So where are we using this? Is it in books or detail? Oh, there it is. Yeah, link. Okay. So that is the activity. The activity is to fix it. Fix the errors. What is it? You need the object. Yeah, just anything object. So would you go over your resume object? That's an object. Yes. And it gets to be two things. Code all the things, and then go back. Wow. Look up a switch in React router. See if you can use this in this code. Let's see. Right? And then use a switch and see, look into it and see what are the different things. So import the route, import React router DOM. From this we need a browser router as router. Okay, what else? Route, and then I want to use switch also. So just add switch, not switch key. No, where's my switch? Okay, and then go ahead and create these routes. Yeah, same as this. So after nav, you're going to have a switch and all your routes that you have, right? But what do I need before that? What's the component that I need? Router. So router component, and this is going to be the parent component, so this comes here. Okay, so everything should be wrapped inside your router. Right, now let's go ahead and use our switch over here. So it says switch, okay, and within the switch you will have your routes. So go ahead and create a route exactly as it's a route exact, and we need a slash and slash books. Slash books, and there's a third one also in part 3, ID. We can create all three over here. Let's see, what does it say? Route exact path. So route. Route. Okay, route. Okay. Exact path is equal to, that's our first route. And what is the component that it's going to load? Books. So component. Let's go ahead and load our books component. Okay. Then go ahead and do the slash books. It's going to be the same thing, except this would be slash books. Okay, so we have two routes that are going to the same one. What is it? Yes. Right. So the question, what is the difference between exact and without the exact path? Yes, Michael.
That's exactly what it says. Like, if we don't have the exact path, then it's going to just put everything there.
Yeah, that's what you did yesterday.
Right. So that's the problem with this is if you remove the exact, and then you have a path called slash, and you have a path called slash books. Okay. Now in your browser, if you are trying to go to slash books, it will also load slash, and then it will load this. Why? Because if you don't have the exact path, it's inclusive. It will find you're trying to get to slash books, right? It matches this one also. Why? Because it has a slash, so it will say, oh, it matches this, and then it matches this also. So it's going to load both pages in one page. So that's why we need the exact one. So yeah, it will load both your home and books pages together. What is it? Kind of like what? Strict? Strict. It was strict. No, it was exact. No, it was, no. You are the concept. You have it right, but still there was no strict keyword. It was still the exact one. Yeah. Strict is a different. Maybe you are preparing for too many interviews. Did you use strict? Yeah. Use strict. That's where it is. All right. Let's do the part 3, and I'm just going to stop the last one also, and it says an ID. Okay. And then this one requires a detail page. This one. So go ahead and put detail component. So now I have 3 routes. I have a slash, it goes to books, slash books. This is the same. If I pass an ID, it should go to the details page. Okay. The last one was the no match. So this is what you see when you go to a website that the route doesn't exist and it shows you 404 or something. So create a route, right? And then load the component no match, right? See what happened over here? If none of these match, it's going to go ahead and give you a error saying 404 not found. That's what, and that's what switch helps with. It will make sure that none of these gets rendered in addition to anything that you type in. So this will make sure that if none of these are typed in and you type in something else, it goes ahead and shows this no
You
match.
don't have to because it's saying
Yes.
no match. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. It will directly, if you type in anything else other than this, just show no match, 404, whatever you want to call this. And if you look up this component, it should have like a 404 message or something. Page not found. Okay. Did it get better? Oh no, I fixed it.
So we wanted slash and books both ways.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what we are trying to do. Yeah. Okay. Any other change over here? That should. Okay, so go ahead and let's see. Okay, so it shows up here. You see this? But it's not correct. So we need to fix something maybe in the detail page. At least get to this point and see. Were you able to fix it, Jeff? Okay, where do I need to fix? Yeah, where do I, what am I missing? So when you click this, it takes you a detail page. Okay. Did you make any change? Or is it exactly what I have? So I'm not able to go there. So I'm missing something. What? You have exactly what I have?
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny. This is, do I need this books over here? Did I put this? Why did I put that? It's better. I still have empty by empty and Sipnos is also empty. Okay. So did you guys have to update the detail page or? Okay, good. Right. All right, so you have to update the detail. Again, it's the same thing. I'm going to leave this part out. Go ahead and try. This is going to be similar to the book.js. Is that true, Blair? Kind of similar to what we have done? Oh, you haven't done it? I thought you did it. All right, take a look at this one. It's going to be similar to what we have done. And then you should be able to see. Again, the big part over here was the routing part. If you click it, it takes you to that page correctly, right? And then it will bring you back over here. Okay, if you see this, the only thing is you're missing this. And if you had to take a guess, it would be properties. So you're passing some properties, you just need to show these things over here. That's what my guess would be.
So they have
Oh, so I'm missing the get call. Okay, so you have to when you come to this, and how do I get it? Somebody say that function. Huh? Okay, all right. Huh? So when this page loads, I need to show this. I need to get it, right? I need to load the books. Do I need to load the books or not? Load load a book, right? And what life cycle method do I need to call here? Component did mount. Yes, same thing. Use the component did mount, and this time instead of calling get books, you're going to call get book. No, there's a get book method. Yeah, there should. Well,
It matches not. It doesn't.
yeah, there should be a get book method. Let's see. Yeah, when I was looking at the API, it was there. We use get books. We use get books. This time we need to use book because, as Blair is saying, we need to find a single book, not get book. So we need to call this function in our component list mount and pass in the ID. And where is the ID coming from? From the parent. It's coming from the previous one. Yeah, you should already have the ID. So state.book. Well, not the ID. How do you get the ID? See this? Console log the props and see what happens. So console log this dot props. Where is props over here? I don't see any props. Don't see any props. But the comment is saying if you do this will work. The console log props. Okay, what are you getting? What are you seeing when you do a console log props? This console log this dot you guys see this? When I do a console log props, it shows me an object, but props is not over here. Where is props coming from? No idea. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, it is coming from parent, but I'm not passing props over here. Okay. So this is again, read the documentation for React. All right. If for a class component, if you create a class component by default, every class component gets a property called this.props. You don't see it, but they will pass it, right? And what is it going to have? It's going to have these 4 or 5 properties: history, location, match. These are by default. All right. When you create a function component, remember we are passing props, right? If you create a class component, by default, there's a variable called props that get passed in. You don't have to declare it. You don't have to do. You can just use it. This.props. If you console log, you will see it has 3 properties: history, location, match. And then from match, this is what they're saying: match.params.id has this ID. Okay, that's a different thing than what it is coming from. But remember this.props in a class component by default it has this property. Okay, this is the same thing as the function we were passing in, but a class component by default React kind of passes this property called props. All right, and it has this history, basically is telling where it is coming from, the location, what was the location on your browser, that's what it is setting from, and your location has this ID, so you can pull that ID out and then use that ID. Okay, the main concept was where is this.props coming from. A class component by default has that. Okay?
Always just if you need it to use.
Yes, always if you, but these are only these 3 or 4 properties that you have, but usually it has the data that you're looking for. Go back and see where this is coming from. It's still being passed from the parent. Again, I cannot modify this, so this is what I got. Okay? Give this a try, this last exercise, and I'll pose a solution later. All right, any questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes.
The rollback component.
Uh-huh.
I'm just curious on the underlying logic of it. If there's any route that's not specified by one of the other ones, then we do it.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is. That's where you see the 404 font. So type in your browser, type in localhost 3000 and something, anything. It will give you a 404 error. That's the exact logic. Oops. So this is what you would get. Okay? All right, any other questions? So this was the last exercise. Before you guys go, I just want to, I'm not here this Saturday. All right? You guys are going to be working on your project. Well, you'll be introduced to the project. So I just want to give you, okay? Now, I'm not going to form the teams and I'm not going to give you names. Okay, the first two projects, people are like, well, I don't have a big team. Here's your chance. Pick your superstar team. All I ask is it has to be, it has to be 4. My class is kind of at odd, so 3 or 4, right? Now, the only requirement is I don't want to step in and kind of form teams. This is your chance, but till now, I haven't had to form teams on my third project. People kind of come together. So please be helpful, respectful. See, try to include everybody in the team. Try to come up with a team. Make sure everybody in the class is included. But if somebody gets left behind, please let me know, and I will kind of look at the teams probably Monday or Tuesday when you guys have formed the teams on Saturday. You'll post your ideas and everything on Saturday, right, in a Word document. So I'll take a look at it and see if somebody's left out. But hopefully everybody kind of makes their team. Okay, 3 or 4 people. 4 people ideal. But again, as I was saying, our pass is at odd. Reggie is missing and Andrew is missing, so somebody please contact them and see if they are. I know Andrew is streaming. I'll check with our SSM Brent and see, contact Reggie, but for now, include him, and if not, we'll come and adjust it. Okay, now these are the requirements for your project. 3. So Matt will go over on Saturday also, but I wanted to give you a heads up. And this time, the project, you have more time. You have like more than 4 weeks for this project. All right, you can start working it right now. The only thing is this project, I'm going to divide it into 4 phases. All right. I'm not sure how Matt will do it, but on Tuesday, next Tuesday, when I'm here, I'll explain the 4 phases. He'll go through 4 phases, but each phase will end on a following Tuesday, and I'm going to outline. I'm going to tell you guys on next Tuesday what I'm expecting. Each phase, you're going to come and tell me if there's a presentation or not. It doesn't matter, but there are some requirements that each phase has to complete. All right, so we're going to divide this project into 4 phases. All right, we'll go over the 4 phases. On next Tuesday, I'll give you the dates. It's not due the following Tuesday, it will be afterwards. So you still have time. But look at the phases. Phase 1, and phase 4 is the final presentation. That's your last day over here. Okay, so I will divide that. I will give you the dates on next Tuesday. The other thing is, all right, so I've seen, in the previous 2 projects, I've seen you guys struggling. Some people are kind of not, are kind of still confused by the front end and the back end. So here's what I'm going to do. There's something I'm going to try new and see if it works. I'm going to do a project with you guys. Exact thing that I tell you guys, you have to submit your requirements, phase 1, screens and everything. I'm going to pick a topic and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to follow the same timeline with you guys, and I'm going to complete a project with you guys. Okay? You guys do a presentation, and then at the end of the day, I'll do the same thing. I'll go through it, and I'll post my GitHub repo as I'm doing. I'm going to follow whatever they say, right? I know you guys say, oh, there's less time, so this is I'm going to try and see what happens. Okay? I'm going to follow all the project management strategies as much as I can. Again, so please trust me, it's a big commitment from my end. I really don't have that kind of time, but I'm going to give it a try and see. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's my goal. I'm going to do a project with you guys, follow everything. I'm going to post my idea when you guys do. I'm going to post my GitHub repo. You can see the project management tool. I'm going to try as much as I can. You guys can, this will be a reference point for you guys. Guys can see how I'm coding, what is the folder structure, what is my front end, back end, and database. Okay. And I'll put the technology, same thing. Whatever the requirements you guys have, I'm going to follow the exact same thing. I'm going to create a Word document and I'm going to post it once you guys are done with the Saturday class. All right, any questions? Everybody good? All right, so socialize, pick your team. On Saturday, you guys have to submit a proposal, right? Make sure you do. Post it on Thursday channel also. Or post it on Saturday, that's okay. Or send it to me so that I also have a good idea what you guys are working on. Okay?
You say that, but